Good afternoon, everyone. I am Riddhi Gohil, the Design and Marketing Director of the Revolution Software Development Club. I welcome you all to the fourth session of our Ignite webinar series on DevOps and Cloud. Software and the internet have transformed the world and its industries, from shopping to entertainment to banking. Software no longer merely supports a business, rather, it becomes an integral component of every part of a business. Companies interact with their customers through software delivered as online services or applications and on all sorts of devices. They also use software to increase operational efficiencies by transforming every part of value chain, such as logistics, communications, and operations. Companies in today's world must transform how they build and deliver software. And this is why DevOps matters. DevOps and cloud computing have become two of the ways companies can achieve a needed digital transformation. DevOps is about the process and process improvement, while cloud computing is about technology and its services. It's important to understand how cloud and DevOps work together to help businesses achieve their transformation goals. So, without any further ado, let me now invite today's speaker, Mr. Rahul Maheshwari. He's a solutions engineer at Google. He also has a YouTube channel called Pocket Inc. The link to this channel is given in the description box below.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. And it is wonderful to connect to you guys and give some interaction, or time to have some interaction or share some knowledge about DevOps, cloud computing, and all. So it's always good, like connecting in these ways and giving sessions like this. Cause moreover, what I feel, when people start in their college days, and when we engineers, we start in our college days, typically what we are grabbed with, or what we are continuously pinged about, is only, I guess, data structures, C language, Java, or that are the maximum things, or that becomes generally our maximum domain to learn from, to study from, and those are only the materials we have. But honestly, what I think, or what I believe is, computer science or computer engineering is way more than this. And nowadays, with the trending technologies and all, we guys should think beyond this, and we guys should move to the actual requirements of the companies. Our engineers should be job ready. Right now what we are doing is, at max, if you'll see, I'll first of all, before sharing any knowledge about DevOps and cloud computing, I would like to set up a base that why it is actually needed, like why you should even go towards that part, or why is it actually important, okay, to get a job, or just for the learning purpose also, not to get a job. Why is it actually important? See, what's happening is, most of the things that we guys do in data structures, maybe that is sorting, searching, graph implementation, tree implementations, those things, we guys should understand that these are the things that companies are already having. These are mostly the things which are there as a function, or you can just call it from the built-in library, and those things are sorted. But again and again, I'm not saying that knowing the backend of those things is bad. It is good. You can try and optimize it, you can try to use it in a different nice way. That is good. But generally, on a corporate level, what happens is, these things, they are already there, and you guys just have to import a function, use this. Let's say you have to sort something, okay, there's a list, you have to sort it. Do not ever think that in any company you will be going and you will be writing a complete sorting code. This never happens. You also know, I also know, that there are direct functions that we have to call for these things, and we have to finish these things. That's it. Then why do you think the companies should actually pay you huge big sum of money, to implement something which is already there in the header files? So it is not just that. They want you to think in a new way, think in a way which the current world is working on. And what's the problem? The current problem is the course or the syllabi that we are having. is really outdated, and it is not more towards, let's say, DevOps, cloud computing, and not just that, it is machine learning, artificial intelligence, gaming, and it is not just about that at all. VFX. So there are so many fields. So first of all, in this session, I'd say that it is not just about DevOps. Try and explore computer science as a whole. Like, it is not just only about programming. This is something really important that you should look for. Apart from this, coming to our topic, DevOps and cloud computing. So this is something that companies do need nowadays. As you understand that we guys are, whatever we code is on our system. For example, okay, I'll give you a scenario. Let's say we have to run a website. Okay, so what happens is, generally we build a website on our laptop, and now we want the world to see this website. Now, in a general scenario, if the website is in my laptop, what happens is my laptop has to be 24/7 on. Sorry, I'm facing a bad throat, so sorry for this. So what happens is, our website has to be on 24/7, and hmm, was there a minor network glitch? Yeah, I guess it's fine now. So yeah, guys, what I was saying is, the companies and the requirement of those companies, it is more towards, building something that is constantly available, and that can be constantly scaled up to, a bigger and a larger thing. For example, the scenario that I gave of a website that is currently into your system or your laptop. Now what's happening is, let's suppose the website is in your laptop, and there is an outsider who wants to access that website. Now for that person to access that website, your laptop should be constantly switched on, constantly connected to internet, and sorry. um, Riddhi, can you check if there are some issues, because I'm again and again getting disconnected with this.
So the internet here is fine. Maybe there's some lag or something. Can you check your internet connection once?
Just a sec, maybe I'll need to hit my router once. Hitting is the only thing that works in India. Okay, I hope that should be fine now. So yeah, coming back to the topic, sorry for this network glitches and all. But again, these are a part of DevOps life, a cloud computing life. You have to face these network glitches. Slowly we'll come to that. But for now, focusing back on the topic. So what happens is, for a person to reach to any particular software or a website which is built over a system, let's say over a laptop has to be constantly connected to a network and has to be constantly switched on and all, which is in real life scenarios not that possible. Why? Because maybe there can be network outage, or your hard disk failure, or laptop crashes sometime, or there are so many things that happens to a physical hardware system. Now what happens is, companies do require a service 24/7 up, 24/7 available. That is why a thing or a concept like DevOps or cloud. First of all, let's come to cloud. That is why a concept like, cloud computing comes into play, where your complete hardware system, for example, this laptop, for instance, we are talking about this laptop. So a thing about this thing like this laptop comes into play. Now, this complete laptop will be over cloud, or this complete system will be over cloud, where you will be coding or developing your thing. And once it is developed, it is somewhere, it is the headache of that cloud provider. For example, Google Cloud provider, the Google Cloud platform is there, or AWS is there, Microsoft Azure is there. Now it will be their headache to keep that system on, up, running, connected to internet. And what all just you have to do is just write a code, put it on your cloud platform, and that's it. It is like up and running. So these are the things that you should be focused on. Create something that is big enough to be going on cloud. Create something that is regular. By regular I mean that is constantly accessible to people, that is scalable. And these are the terms that are generally there in a cloud computing world. Now, coming to the topic of DevOps. So basically, why there is a cloud, or there is a need of cloud? To keep something constantly available, and to save the faults which are there or which could be there from our hardware. Now, what's the need of DevOps in this complete picture? So the DevOps basically just means, making the environment, developer and the operations guy friendly, bringing both of them close. For example, you know when you write a code, so the code goes for testing. The testing person runs some test cases over it, and if there are some failures, you get notified. If there are no failures, the code goes to production. In the production environment, again the code gets deployed. Someday if there are again failures, the code has to reach to developer again. Now there should be a particular pipeline to this. There should be particular people responsible for each and every part. For example, the code I did should be my responsibility. It is not like I made a code and it is someone else's responsibility to fix the bugs of that code. Or if it is someone else's responsibility, that particular person should be there and should be assigned the tasks. Now, in an environment which is big enough over some cloud platform, and where there are thousands of systems running on cloud. So what's happening is, let's say I wrote a code and I put it over cloud. Now there is no one to see, or no way to see that who did it. Then it is a really faulty approach. There should be a particular pipeline, particular way to see who did which part of code, and whenever it fails, who is there to debug it. Or whenever, let's say, there is more traffic on website, how am I going to scale this? This all part comes under DevOps. So these are generic things which are there in DevOps. By definition, if I'll go, there will be tens and thousands of definitions of DevOps. But generally, the role of a DevOps guy is to keep the systems up and running, to make new systems whenever, let's say I work for an organization, I want to put my application over cloud. The DevOps guy will give me, a complete cloud infrastructure, and he'll be like, okay, that we manage cloud for you. You just, write your code and put it, let's say, in GitHub or in XYZ place, and we'll take care of that from there. So the role of DevOps guy basically is to put the code live for, public usage, or for the usage of my end customer. That is something a DevOps guy do. But how to learn this? What could be the particular path to learn, let's say, either DevOps or cloud computing or things like this? So whenever these things start, and this is not about just these things, I'll say whenever anything, anything in general in IT world starts, this should start basically with operating systems, because operating system is like a plate that we have. Over the top of that plate you can keep, various things. Uh, you can keep a bowl of rice, you can keep a chapati, you can keep, vegetables, you can keep some salad. So but the base of that, your complete meal becomes that plate, which carries all the stuff. So that is something that also happens with, operating system. So whatever let's say you try to open a browser, so you for which, to access any cloud platform you'll need a browser. Okay, so to open a browser basically you need a operating system in a base, so that you can, what you can do is you can put a browser on top of that. To code anything you'll need some coding platform. Let's say you need a compiler or something, you'll need to install that compiler. To install that compiler again you need a operating system. So again, you know a base need of an operating system is always there. And how you can like create that need, or how you can cater that, generally in the corporate environment, it is by a Linux system. And it will be like, it can be really interesting for some of you to know that you have used Linux in one way or the other. There are, ample of things which are using Linux. For example, the smartphone that we are having has generally has Android in it. Android is a type of Linux. There are, mini Linux things inside your ACs, your washing machines, and all. So there are so many things made out of Linux which are used nowadays in almost each and every, smart device. So that's why I say it, in ACs and washing machines and refrigerators and all, in your smart watches, smart TVs. So there are Linux over there. And definitely Android is a type of Linux. So no matter, how much you think you are new to Linux, our generation have been using it from quite long time now. So Linux is this, but at the company level, when you say what is Linux, so Linux is not this interesting as Android is. It is pretty much like a command line interface and just texting and typing. But once you get hooked to it, trust me, it is way more interesting than getting a complete GUI. So whenever you try to enter the world of Linux or the world of DevOps, the first thing that one should learn is an operating system, and the best operating system to learn is Linux. Now, Linux again comes in various flavors. Like when I say flavors, there are like various versions. Like Ubuntu is there, Red Hat is there, CentOS, Kali Linux, OpenSUSE. So there are so many Linux flavors. The best one which I can think is pretty much anyone. There is no choice of particular Linux flavor that you can go with, but the two which are widely used are either Red Hat or CentOS or Ubuntu. So either go with Ubuntu or Red Hat or CentOS. That pretty much doesn't matter. So yeah, learn one of them, and that's pretty much it. After learning Linux, you can move on forward to any of the cloud platform. The two best ones to start with will be GCP and AWS. So you can either go for GCP or go for AWS. Both are equally good. Really good documentations, really good video tutorials and everything. So you can start learning them. And that will be your step towards not just cloud computing but also DevOps, because not anything in cloud computing comes without DevOps, and not anything in DevOps comes without cloud computing. Both things go hand in hand, go parallel. Now there are various other tools. For example, Jenkins is there, and then Maven is there, Git is there. So these are like, I'll say, 2 days or a 3 days, task to complete. Let's say Git and Jenkins and Maven. So these are small things, won't take much time. But the most important part will be learning Linux and learning cloud. This is something which is time taking, but equally important. Apart from this, there is one question that I am like very frequently asked. That is, which language or which programming language to learn when you opt for cloud computing or a DevOps course. So the best language for this, I always believe, will be Python, because it is too much used in each and every aspect of DevOps. whether it is simple programming or functional programming or scripting and creating web designs for it. So Python is pretty much used for everything, and it has built-in libraries or modules to create various things. So to easily automate or to easily script, there are a lot of things. So you can try and play with Python parallelly. If you have some time, do start learning Python. That will be of real help. uh, that is it. That is all one should think of. Start with these three things. Start with Linux, cloud, and Python. Later you will yourself start going into that world. The next two steps could be learning Dockers and learning Kubernetes. So Docker something will take you towards the world of containerization. So what containers are, that is something you will feel much more familiar learning when you know Linux. And those of you who know Linux, so containers are way more smaller and a mini version or a package of Linux that you can install really fast, that you can start using really fast, and you can deploy really fast. By deploy, I mean once you put an application to a container, you can start it anywhere really quick. So these are the features of container. And there is containerization or Dockerization is a magical word in itself. Why I say it magical is because when you'll install your first Linux or Windows system, you'll see that it takes minimum like around 15 to 20 minutes. But you won't believe, guys, but containers is a magic which gives you like one operating system freshly installed, completely in a new way, which is what it looks like to you, not exactly in the background, but something that will look like is that you installed one completely new fresh operating system in less than 1 second. This is how fast container is. The complete same OS which you install, let's say over your virtual box or some setup like that, that you installed in 20 minutes or 25 minutes, virtual box will do it, or sorry, Dockers or containers will do it in less than 1 second. So this is what the magic of containers is. This is why big companies use it. So whenever their VMs or their systems go down, so to install a new system, it should not be like waiting for very long time. It takes them less than a second. And in big companies where there are thousands of systems for them running online, it is very common for them that their systems go down or their applications go down, and they have to start or spin up completely new system, put their application there and start running it again. So they cannot wait for 20 minutes or 25 minutes. There are like billions of dollars of losses that can happen behind that. So that is why they needed a quick solution to it. And yeah, Dockers was there which cater such need. So you should study Dockers after that, and Kubernetes. So what is Kubernetes? It is again a tool that is built over Docker. So if you see, this is a complete chain which is going on. For example, we start from Linux. Over the top of Linux, this is something called as Docker, which is built on. Over the top of Docker, to make Dockers even better, there is something called as Kubernetes, which is built on them. So try learn in this way, and this will start paving your way towards your DevOps and cloud dream. But while learning these, there will be so many terminologies or key terminologies that you will be uh, in regular day-to-day world. You'll be in touch with. So try and grasp those things in your interviews. Always use the terminologies which are exactly there, which should be there. Do not just say anything. For example, I'll give you a small instance. Uh, let's say you want to put your code into cloud. So put your code into cloud is not the exact word, or copy your code into cloud is not the exact word, but the word should be deploy your code to your cloud provider, or sorry, not to a cloud provider but to a cloud instance or to a cloud system. Deploy should be the exact word. That is as similar as instance should be the exact word. Not apart from instance, you cannot say that it is a system or it is a machine. There should be exact word for each and everything. But don't worry on this as of now. slowly, when you'll start learning this, when you'll enter this world, you will, see that there are a lot more things that you are seeing, a lot more things or terminologies that you are learning. So that won't be any issue. Apart from this, what I see is, don't be too stressed out. There are technologies, but limited. And trust me, it is way better than, giving your complete 3 to 4 years of college in learning just data structures. For example, what happens with a fresher of a college till they, become the expert and masters? What I see happening is they learn data structures, and by the end of 3 or 4 years, if I ask them what did you learn, they are like, I learned data structures. I learned C language. What in C language? Data structures. I learned Java. What in Java? Data structures. There's nothing more from that, like hardly like HTML and CSS, which is again a 2 days thing. So there are not, many big things for them to count, and then in the end they are like that I'm not getting a good placement or a big placement or some job in a top notch IT company. Guys, you need to look way beyond data structures to go into really good companies. It is not that just data structures is enough. It is good to know that, but apart from that, I'll strongly recommend you to learn more of the technology aspect. That will be really helpful, to get the real world's insight. Now, I think that, I've set up a pretty much way for DevOps, that how you should be learning. I've set up a need for cloud computing, that, if you're not having a system, still you want to run something, then why you need cloud computing. Apart from that, the need for DevOps, that, since the cloud computing environment is not in front of us, it is vast and it is somewhere in distance. It is someone else's computer on which we are working. We all have heard that joke. But to maintain that, since it is someone else's computer, to maintain that, we need DevOps. Apart from that, you know, if there are any questions, I'm all ears to it. Feel free to shoot and we can take this ahead. So, Riddhi, yeah, I guess we can take the questions now.
Yes, sir, sure. So before that, we'll just have a basic introduction about the club.
Okay.
So let me now invite Karan Satyani. He's the president of the Revolution Software Development Club. He will talk about the club and what do we do exactly. So good evening, Karan. Over to you.
Thank you, Riddhi. So, good evening, everyone. I hope you are enjoying the session so far. And just to let everyone know that if you have any questions, you can keep asking them in the Google form which we have provided. So, the form is also shared on our WhatsApp groups, as well as it is shared in the description of this video. So, you can find that link and you can ask any question you have for sir or anything about DevOps and cloud. So about our club and what we do. So we conduct sessions like this regularly where you get to know the first-hand experience from industry professionals, as well as we conduct technical workshops. So we have conducted workshops on topics like JavaScript and the Angular framework before. So if you are into web development, if you are into front end, you can definitely check our workshops out. Those are hands-on workshops, and basically we make a mini project in those workshops, so you can check those out. They are available on this YouTube channel itself, and also on social media accounts we post daily technical content. So content like trending technologies, quizzes, memes, and much more. So definitely you can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, whichever one you use for this type of content. And on the other hand, on LinkedIn, we post solely interview preparation questions and questions which are asked in the GATE exam. So we post questions cater towards the computer science domain. So we post questions on major topics like data structures and algorithms, operating system, computer networking. So if you want to solve a small question every day, I know it's not too much, but it will definitely help you in the long run. So do follow us on LinkedIn. You guys following us and showing us your support not only will help you stay updated, but it also helps us. and it motivates us to keep doing this for you guys and make more content, bring in more professionals from the industry to spread more knowledge. So please do follow us and show your support. So yes, that is it from my side, and we can move on to the question and answer sessions. Do post your questions in the form given below. So thank you.
Thank you, Karan. So let us now start the question and answer session. We already have a first question. So it is by Purohit. So Purohit is asking that what will be the future of cloud computing and big data?
So, what will be the future of cloud computing and big data? So, see, that's an interesting question, but with a really large and vast domain. So, for example, data is everywhere, and I guess it is not about what will be the future of big data, but it is already that right way to say this is that the big data is the future, or you know, cloud is something that I won't say it is the future because it is kind of a history now. Cloud is something which is already implemented in all the companies. It is not like that companies are moving towards cloud. I'll say 99% or even more than that, all the companies are already over cloud nowadays. So things are no more in your own laptops and all. Companies do work over cloud. So cloud is not a future thing. Cloud is a past now. But why should you learn cloud? Because to work over that you should know cloud because things are on that. Apart from that, now you have to make it secure, make it better, make it faster. So this is something which is the future, making things secure, better and faster. Now to know that, definitely you should learn the basics of that first of all. So that is the thing. Now what companies more focus on, that is what I'll say as future. It is two things. One is security and another is monitoring. So what is monitoring? Let's say if anything goes wrong, you should get an alert. If things are going up to the mark, there shouldn't be no disturbances with your alerting system and all. And anything which is like unexpected going on, so just get alert, get notified and things like that. And things either should be automated and corrected or corrected by yourself. So there are few. Now see, future again, see, I can classify future here in one word, but I don't want to because I feel that that will not be the right way. So there are few terms again. So one is monitoring, another is security. Since you know how these things or how many threats these things come with. So threat is a really important factor. So you should consider, and anyone, any company should consider basically who is working over cloud. So threat protection and all, that is one thing. Apart from that, data analysis is there because the type of users or the type of data you are getting, the more and more analysis you would do over that. That is something we talked about, big data. So big data itself is the future. The more and more libraries we are getting over Python and all. So just, yeah, that's a future thing. So yeah, this is something we should look up to. So that is a big thing. Security, monitoring, logging, uh, automation. So let's suppose if there is any threat or any, let's say, any alerting system that your XYZ machine is down. So there should be automation to it, that again a machine should come up, spin up automatically, and the machine which was down should be, let's say, turned off properly, and yeah, system should be shut it down and things like that. So there are, this is just one example, but there are tons and tons of example of automation happening in regular life. So yeah, automation should be there. So one thing is that, and these things are not like that these are completely future. These are currently happening, and these are going to happen for a literally longer period. For now, these are some things which are not yet completely built. uh, I'll suggest, even as college students, you guys should try doing automation projects. What mostly happens is, a lot of students I see, they make management systems. For example, library management, mess management, shop management. Guys, these are something that you can easily get over internet, built in like half an hour or 45 minutes. These are not big enough to show to any, good big companies. You can rather make some automation project, some cloud project, and try to automate it, try to put your applications on cloud and run over there. those will be good project for you also, because these are something companies are looking to build for themselves. As we say, these are the coming near future. That's it. I hope
Thank you
this
so
answers
much,
the
sir.
question.
Yes, sir. I hope that answers your question, Purohit. The next question is by Anish. Anish is asking that as we know, different flavors of Linux are best in their places, but which one is preferred for cloud platforms?
Okay. So again, interesting question, that which flavor of Linux. So to answer this question, I'll say, the answer is in Linux itself. So how the Linux was made. Basically, Linux is all about the Linux kernel, and the kernel is same for all the flavor of Linux. So it doesn't matter which Linux you start learning from. All the concepts, like majorly 99% of the concepts are similar, and just that you should know which base type of version. For example, okay, I'll give you a brief understanding of this. Let's say you are trying to learn AWS or Amazon cloud, okay, as we say it. So Amazon cloud comes with Amazon Linux in it, so you can launch a free Amazon Linux, and in that Amazon Linux you can start doing some stuff. So that is one thing. But that Amazon Linux is made from Red Hat or Fedora. Okay, so now you can start learning Red Hat or CentOS or Fedora. Then you can start implementing it in AWS. If you are trying to learn Google Cloud, then again see which actual image Google Cloud is using, which is the similar Linux you can learn without a cloud platform. Try learning that Linux, implement that in Google Cloud. So these are the answers. So first of all, just fix one cloud platform that you want to learn. See which Linux, like, or which approximate Linux they are using, and you can start learning accordingly. This is one way. The second way is learn Ubuntu and Red Hat both. It will take you a hardly 10 days of time to literally, set your hands on both of them on a basic level really well. So in those 10 days, you can learn Linux. After that, no matter which Linux it was, jump to any of the cloud platforms. And the more you do things over cloud platform, more you be good with Linux, no matter which flavor you start from. All the flavors are equally good.
Yes, sir, definitely. So the next question is by Yobu, and he's asking that how to start your own cloud service if he wants to, and which programming languages would I have to be familiar with?
Okay. So this is basically a microservice architecture to start your own cloud, cloud service, or as I say, to start your own data center. It is a bit costly, but a system which can be easily created. This is a microservice architecture, which means not in any particular programming language. You can create in various programming language. You can create it in your own way, but mostly what you will use nowadays is either C, C++, or Python. Java is not much used in this, aspect. You can do it without Java. You can do it very well without Java. Either C, C++, or Python, or a mixture of both. That is something you can use. And the more knowledge apart from programming, what will be required is of networks, computer networking and hardware systems. You will require a deep understanding of that, understanding of how data centers work. There are really good books on that. You can connect with me over YouTube or LinkedIn, and I can share you those things. Those are some really nice books to set up or build a data center, and that's it. That's what's required.
Thank you, sir. That was a very useful answer. So we have our next question, and it is by Rinky. Rinky is asking, what is the exact advantage of containers like Docker?
Containers like Docker. So, exact advantage, as I said, is, as I earlier also explained, there are two ways in which, let's say, a company which is running, or let's say Google itself is there, okay. Google is running their particular web browser, which is a search page, okay, which you see somewhere, okay, whenever you type www.google.com. So, you see a Google search page. Basically, it is a web browser or a web page that you see. It is running over some system in the backend. Now, whenever that system goes down, now Google has two choice. to bring up they are having hardwares, but on that hardware now what they have to do is install a complete fresh operating system. Over that operating system they have to install or install their web server, they have to copy their web page and start running it. On the other end, what they can directly do is now this will take them 15 minutes, 10 minutes at least, like at minimum this will take them 10 minutes to install their complete operating system and all. But now what happens is, with the world of containers hardly take 1 second to launch a completely new, complete new operating system. So to package things, to launch new things, it becomes way too faster. That is why containers are used, for a quick package, for a better deployment. That is why.
Thank you, sir. I hope, Rinki, your question has been answered. So the next question is by Siddharth. He's saying that as we know, cloud services are supposed to be really reliable for the customers. So how do we make sure that the reliability is ensured?
That will see these are that's why that's the benefit of cloud platform. So this is not your headache to maintain the reliability. This is something called as SLA, or service level agreement. So if a cloud provider says that they will give you 99 or 99.5% times of availability, this is completely their headache to give you that availability. You just like sit and relax, they will give you the availability. So what you have to do is, at our end, whenever we put, let's say I put my website and I wanted 99% of the times available. So there is a good approach that I just not put it only in one system, because in one system there are chances of system going down. So let's put it in 2 or 3 system and put a load balancer in front of it. Now what is a load balancer? That is again a very easy thing where you can learn while learning, cloud or computer networks or anything like that. So those are simple things. Just making a good architecture over web, or making a good architecture in itself, is just that. That's most important. Apart from that, rest of the headache is of your cloud provider, not of yours.
Yes, sir, definitely. I completely agree with you on this. So the next question is by Sonal, and she's asking that what are the benefits of DevOps and how is it better or different from Agile?
See, so now to answer your question, see, we should first understand what is agile methodology and what is DevOps methodology. Okay, or in front of that, what is the basic waterfall model which was used earlier. Okay, so there are two methodologies basically. One is agile, one is waterfall. And in waterfall model, what used to happen is, a complete product or the complete thing was made, and then it was given to the customer that this is the thing that we have made, this is the end product that we have made. But in the agile methodology, now what's happening is, make a mini product, or make just the main features of the product, try and launch the product, see the responsive, or see if there are any bugs or issues, try and fix that. In addition to that, let the people work with it and try to add some more features, then try to add some more features, then try to, for example, a very good example, whenever I try to explain this, I have only one big example. Take example of a WhatsApp application. So initially, when WhatsApp came in the initial days, it did not even had that double tick feature or a blue tick feature or things like that. It did not had a video call. It did not had status updates. So there were no such things. It was a very simple messaging app. But then, if WhatsApp would have waited that we'll build all the things, we'll build a video call feature, we'll build voice call feature, status update feature, then maybe it would have been years for WhatsApp to launch from then. But what happens is, in an agile methodology, so they launched a basic application, then they made some modification for double takes, for blue takes, and then they launched the update. Then, along with that, if there are any issues, they can immediately roll back. If there are not, let's continue with that, add few more features. That is why there are beta versions and dev versions for these applications, that launch them. If there are any issues, roll back. If there are not, keep on adding more features, so things become more smooth. Now, going big shot or going with all features in one time could be a good approach. But what could be the problem, that is, if something fails, it is really hard to debug for which part or which, which exact feature for which we are failing. So that is something really hard. That is why it is really good approach to add features one by one. And this always, brings thing or the brings, the exact software or the application live to the customer really fast. So that is something really useful.
Thank you. So that was an amazing example, and I hope that answers your question, Sonal. So the next question is, can you tell us how Google uses DevOps and cloud? And this question is by Suyog.
Okay. So see, Google uses DevOps and cloud as good as the other companies does or as well as the other companies does. It is always about, now I am sitting at my home right now, work from home stuff and all is going on. But I'm still coding for Google. That is how. How is it possible? Like, since things are over cloud, whatever I do here gets worked somewhere else. That is cloud only. Now, these COVID situations, these are wonderful example of how cloud works. So I code here and things get stored somewhere else and get run somewhere completely different on a different pathway. So these are things about cloud only, and this is how cloud works. And every company for cloud they have similar usage. Like, your cloud is here, code it here, it will run somewhere else. Put it here, it will look up somewhere else. That's it. That's what cloud is. And DevOps also like kind of have limited tools. Like, there are many tools, but there is a limitation to the tools. And yeah, each and every company I'll say pretty much have same use case, that will put something in some place, it will get monitored from somewhere, logging will be somewhere, and secure one thing has to look for security, one thing has to look for continuity, like how continuous it is, one thing have to look for the delivery of the product, one thing have to look for the deployment. So these are various aspects that we have to look for. There are various tools, depends on company to company, be it Google, Microsoft, or a basic startup, that how they, or which tools they use or how they use these tools. But it is like, there are 10 steps that you have to do. For each step, let's say there are again 10 options that you need to choose. Now it depends on company to company that which exact product they choose, but there are these steps that they will need to follow anyhow. That is it. That is all about cloud and DevOps. That is why I say it is very, very easy to learn. Once you know any one of those products, it is like knowing all 10 of them. For example, knowing one product for automation is as good as knowing 10 products for automation, because you know what it does. Now learning the syntax or learning how it, how it is, how any of the product is actually implemented, hardly takes you less than 1 week. That's it.
Yes, definitely. And I think this was a very good question. And so your response was really great.
Thank you.
So the next is a very interesting question from Ankit. And he's saying that, can you talk about your journey as how you got into Google and became a solutions engineer?
Okay. I would, I'd love to talk on this. I have shared this with so many people so many times. Uh, but again, people tend to forget this because this is one time motivation. I'm being very, upfront with this. Uh, Whatever motivation you take from me today will stay for you with less than a week and will slowly try to wither away. Okay, this is how human brain functions. So, but to give it in one go, how I try to do things is I try to learn from core. I tried to see the job first. Like, first, when I was in college days, I never thought of, being into Google or things like that. But I always thought of one thing, that whatever I'm learning, I need to know the complete core of that and the actual concepts behind that. For example, whenever someone told me that, or my teachers told me that integer is of like this many bits of size in memory. Okay, so I needed to know that by memory they mean, they meant RAM or hard drive. And if in RAM, where in RAM? If in hard drive, where in hard drive? Can we try, go inside that and see that? And trust me guys, in Linux and all, there are features like this. You can see each and every variable also where in memory, how many space, how much space is it taking, what all things are there. So you can see that okay, it is possible. So I tried to do things in that way. I focused less on data structures, more on those things. Even at times, I've given my exams with attendance less than 30-35%. And in my college days I used to have these backs and all. But that doesn't matter. If you want to, if you literally want to aim for good big companies, your scores, CGPAs, GPAs, they all doesn't matter. What matters is how much, in technically depth you are going, okay, of any particular topic or any particular subject. Just learn the core of it, just learn it from deep, and that's what it is all about. Apart from that, when I applied for the job, before applying for the job, I looked for the job requirements. I made sure that I fit in each and every checkbox, and I made few checkboxes for myself. Yes, this was a really good thing that I did, so which helped me actually. So I made checkboxes for myself. I saw few job openings. I was like, okay, these are the requirements. These all things I have to do. I took some time off and I learned each and everything out of that. Then I applied, and then it was like pretty smooth for me. I took a referral, and I'll strongly recommend you to, take a referral for all these things and to see all these steps. So I'll tell you that there is a YouTube channel, I only created to keep you guys motivated constantly. What you can do is see one or two of those videos on a daily basis, and that is it. Like if you follow those steps, that will be more than enough. The channel name is Pocket Ink, INK. Okay, try follow those steps which are there in the videos over there. It will tell you about how you should build your resume, what that interview environment looks like, and you know how you should start preparing, what are those checkboxes funda, and various things are there. So there are like 10 plus videos. Go with them, and I hope they will help you. Anything else, guys?
Yes, sir. I think we all can relate to your experience and would agree to it as well. So, thank you for sharing that experience with us. And it was really motivating, and we wholeheartedly appreciate their effort.
Thank you.
We have another question, and it is by Rohan, where he's asking that can you give an example of how DevOps can actually be used with AWS or GCP?
Okay. So DevOps being used with AWS or GCP. See, as I told you guys before, so cloud and DevOps do come hand in hand. By that I mean, whenever you do something over cloud, it has to be monitored somewhere. It has to be made continuous. For example, if I do something like, let's say if I put a website over cloud, I have to make sure that it is up and running. So in that place, DevOps comes in part. For example, putting that in a container will make it a part of DevOps. Putting that, and if that container goes down, so, okay, take an instance, okay, for example, that there is a website, you have to launch it over cloud, let's say GCP or AWS. Okay, you have to launch it over AWS. Now, when you try to launch it over AWS, the way is take that website, put it over AWS. This is working on cloud, done. That website is running over AWS, that's done. Now, what happens is, in a second scenario, now that website needs to run on cloud, but whenever that website goes down due to any reason, there should be a clone of that website that should come up. This is an easy thing you can do by DevOps, with the use of containers and all. So try putting containers over there, and that is it. Your part is done. Or there are other features which AWS provides without using containers, or which any cloud like Google Cloud or Azure, or they also provide without using containers. You can do that really fast. So when you try to build that level of architecture, so DevOps is less about learning anything in specific. It is more about how you build a particular architecture, be it on cloud or off cloud, but how you build that architecture, that is DevOps. So that is how these things go hand in hand. That you have a cloud means you have a virtual space. Now in that space, how you build your architecture is all about DevOps. May look bit confusing right now, but I'll say that start learning bit about cloud, then start learning little bit about the tools that are involved in DevOps. Don't learn what is DevOps for now. Start learning some tools. For example, start learning Docker, start learning scripting, start learning GitHub and all. Then you start learning about what is DevOps. That will be a more smoother approach, because you will be knowing the tools. You are like, you are someone who knows bits and pieces. Now you have to put those bits and pieces into place. That's it. That will be a smoother approach.
I think it was a very insightful answer, and I hope that answers your question, Rohan.
Thank
So the
you.
next question is from Shrikant, where he's asking that can you recommend some projects that we can do for good placement, for getting a good placement?
Yeah, definitely. Uh, See, there are two ways to make a project really good and interesting. One is the project itself, it should be really good and interesting. For example, doing some really good research on machine learning and cloud machine learning. So, machine learning is a good part for doing any project. For example, COVID data is there. Pick up the database, do implement machine learning algorithms, make some useful graphs, implement it in a good way. That is something in machine learning. Image processing is there. In image processing you can do a lot of things nowadays. What I recently saw over a lot of social media platforms, and especially over LinkedIn, was that Harry Potter's invisible cloak, someone made it in Python and people are like replicating it as hell. You guys can replicate it, but try and understand the concept behind that. So making projects like that, with which involves image processing, machine learning, those are really good. Apart from that, even if you make any management system, so try to implement some machine learning with that. So you can tell it to your interviewer that you made a management system, but it is very unique from something else. Now let's suppose it is for a cafe. So cafe has people in it. So people with their previous orders, you are building a machine learning algorithm, and you know what kind of things they can like or they cannot like. There are things like that. So you can do that. There are automation stuff that you can do, as I already explained, automating cloud in various good ways, load balancing cloud, and these are the things. Apart from that, see, these are good projects. Now there are other ways to make your old fashioned project, or some projects you did prior to this, in a present them in a good way. For example, if you built an app, do not directly present them the app. Put your app over some cloud platform, then show them. Okay, if you built a website, do not directly show them on a laptop. Put your website on cloud and load balance it, and put 2 3 more things with that website, like load balancing is there, and scaling is there, and then threat protection is there, to put like 2 3 fancy things, and then just share them a link that this is the link, this is something I have built, this is the backend architecture of this. So these are some things that you can present your project in a really good way. And trust me guys, with projects like these, your you know your chances of getting selected are increased from 30% to 90% directly. Companies do need employees which can do these things. Takes hardly effort of like 4 to 5 days, not more than that, if you know any cloud platform really well. So try learning cloud. Once you know that, you can make any of your project really very interesting.
These are very interesting ideas, sir, that you have shared. And so thank you for that. And Shrikant, I hope that you have noted them down. So the next question is from Pratik, and he's asking that what projects did you do during your college days, and did it help you in getting placed in Google?
Okay. So, see, at my time, I built my own cloud. Okay. So, I built my own cloud architecture, which was, using base Linux commands. I built a complete cloud setup of my own. It was fun doing. I learned really core concepts of Linux. It was really good for that. And I implemented some machine learning algorithms on top of that, just to make it more fancy, make it look more attractive. So some it had my face recognized and opened my cloud platform only after that. Once it is it recognizes me and all that, just some fancy stuff. So doing all that, with a good representation, doing a good project, that helped me getting my initial placements, but not directly Google. What helped me with Google was not at all my projects, but more than my projects, it was about the technical knowledge in depth that I gained while doing those projects. So that was really helpful to me. So that was one thing. Apart from that, if you are looking for trainings like this, I guess you can still join. We guys are having a training at Linux Socials. So Linux Socials is a company that I run parallelly apart from Google. It has nothing to do with Google, but we help students of colleges and all to prepare you know for FANG companies. FANG means all the top five international companies which involve Google, Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, and all. So you can prepare for FANG companies, and apart from them, you can prepare for other big IT companies. We give trainings for that. If you guys want to join, we guys, I'll explain you the funda. So we are a bunch of engineers trying to teach other engineers at a really low cost, which is as low as 2000 rupees per month. It is a 6 months course. Okay. If you guys feel it is relevant for you, we learn DevOps, we learn cloud, we learn machine learning, we do good big projects on them. And apart from that, definitely there is coding, there is let's say networking, there is TBMS, there is operating systems, things like that, and obviously projects on all of these things together. So there are things like this. So what you can do is you can join some training internship program like this, or a mentorship program like this, or these are basically the content you can do by themselves. But the main thing that is, whether to join or not, it is all based on, are you able to make your routine? If you are able to make a routine, if you are able to learn things by yourselves, please go ahead. But if you are not, the main thing that I'll say is, do not procrastinate, do not waste your time in just laziness and all stuff. Enough of cooking and doing fun stuff in lockdown, and just scrolling your Instagram and all. That's done, and done is done. Now is the time, be a bit serious about some good big preparation. Because in real life, if you guys will see, how you go is, or how anyone goes is, let's suppose a person gets a placement of 5 to 7 lakhs, going from 7 lakh to 17 lakh in every year. If they get like 20-25% increment also, which is average increment, it will take them 5-6 years to reach that 17-18 lakh package. But this is when everything goes really smooth. But from college only, if you can get that much of package, let's say 15-17 lakh, 20 lakhs package, then what's the harm? Like, why not directly get that much of package and move 5 to 6 years ahead in life? So do it. What can help you in this is little bit of regularity, some good projects, deep technical knowledge. If you're not able to make some regularity, then what can help you is joining some training or a mentorship program, or being in a group that is really very serious. So you, that can be your own group also. You can create a group and be very serious about those studies, and for prepare with a goal. That's it.
Wow, so that was amazing. And this is really motivating. And what you have achieved also is really marvelous.
Thank you. Thank you.
So the next question is from Pranav, and he's asking that I don't have a roadmap plan to become a good engineer and in the field of cloud. So can you recommend how I can start my learning journey?
Yeah, so as I'm saying till now, so start with Linux. Okay, parallelly you can start doing Python. This will take you hardly 15 days to complete Linux in Python. So complete it in this much of time. Maybe doing some machine learning projects and all will be good. Not related with cloud and DevOps, but still it will help you later on while you will do scripting and all. It will help you. So do that. Apart from that, be good with your concepts of operating systems, and then move towards operating system. By operating systems, I mean theory of operating systems. Then move towards any of the cloud platform, and then learn Dockers or Kubernetes and things like this, and then start applying for jobs. You will get them. And if not, still, if you are not able to still follow up the routine or things like that, uh, I'll say that try connecting me with from LinkedIn and all. If I'll see that you are at good pace, maybe we can join you in the current batch of Linux socials, and we can do something good with that.
I hope that answers your question, Pranav. So the next question is from Yobo, and he's asking that
Riddhi, hello.
yes, yes,
So
sir.
just one thing. So if these guys want to connect over LinkedIn or somewhere, do after this session completes, do feel free to share them the LinkedIn ID so that those of them who have these personal queries, or those of them who feel like they are not getting a proper roadmap, they can feel free to connect over LinkedIn. Okay.
Yes, sir, definitely.
Thank you.
We'll share all the links in our WhatsApp groups as well as it will be sent on the description box as well. Definitely.
Perfect.
It is also provided in our description box. So if anybody wants to connect, they can definitely check it out.
That's great.
Yes, sir. So moving forward to our next question. Uh, Yobo is asking that what exactly is the difference between cloud computing and grid computing?
Cloud computing and grid computing. See, these to be implemented, these are different, but for a use case basis, these are pretty much same. And I can explain you, see, in a simple way. uh, Grid computing means there is a particular grid or a particular domain. Let's say this will handle only networks, this will handle only storage, this will handle only the RAM part, and there is another grid handling only CPU part. These are the grids that are made specifically. And by grids, there are not like two big grids. These are like Cisco racks and all which are set up. This is kind of grid computing. But to maintain them all together in one particular system, that this is a system which handles all of these, it can provide you based on your requirement. If you want RAM, it will provide you RAM. If you want hard drive, this system will provide you hard drive. There are various other systems in one particular rack which are providing you things like that. So this is a form of a cloud. So grid is basically cloud computing where features are distributed and maintained over cloud. But from usage perspective, you will not see any difference. These are more of a theoretical concepts. To get a job or to implement anything won't be of much use.
Yes, sir, agreed, definitely. So moving forward to our next question. Next question is from Payal, and she's asking that can you tell us why DevOps by itself, and then what is cloud by itself, and how DevOps is better with cloud?
Okay. So what is cloud by itself? As explained earlier, so cloud is just something, someone else's computer or someone else's system that put the data over there. That's cloud. That's it. And what's DevOps by itself? So not necessarily that DevOps is something that you have to do over cloud. DevOps means making your applications continuous, easily scalable, and available. So DevOps is just maintaining your application. It is like a maintenance pipeline. You have to maintain your applications by using various tools. That is DevOps, and not just a particular tool or a format, but various tools and formats and a combination of that. That is DevOps. Now, how they are better with each other? For example, since you are not having things in person with you, close to you, things are over cloud, at god knows how much distance from you. So since things are this much far, they need a proper monitoring, proper maintenance, proper scalability, proper look to them. Okay, proper inspection of them. That is where DevOps come into play. That is how DevOps makes it easy to keep the data in place or keep the records in place of the things that are running virtually for you. But could be
That
a
was
bit
a very
complex to understand, but more like if you are having something virtually or if you are having something really far from you, you need a proper eye on that and a proper check on that regularly. That is what DevOps is for.
that was an amazing answer, sir. So
Thank you.
the next question is again a very interesting question by Shubhankar, and he's asking that what type of security is in place for cloud computing services?
See, currently there are two types of security. One type of security is something that your cloud provider is giving you. By their end, they try that there are no breaches for, let's say, Bitcoin mining, or there shouldn't be any hackers to hack their data and all. So they keep encryptions in place, and they themselves, even they do not see our data if we do not allow them. So encryptions are there in place. Apart from that, there is some responsibility of us also, that let's suppose if I make my own cloud instance or the cloud system open for everyone to come and see, then this is my fault. This is not that cloud provider's fault. And they give us option to control, but just that we should know how to use it, how to control it. That is why there are proper trainings of using a cloud platform, or how to put your applications and things over cloud before just going there randomly.
I hope that answers your question, Shubhankar. So we have last three questions remaining now. So the next question is from Pooja, and she's asking that how has this pandemic changed your work environment and your performances?
Okay. So change my work environment and my performances. See, my work environment changed a lot. I used to, stay in Bangalore, but for this 1 month, I'm here, at my native place, which is Jaipur, Rajasthan. And, you know, it has been, or things has been really different for me, because I have been after a long time back at home and spending more family time. Earlier I used to spend my days and nights all working. I used to enjoy that. Not, fascinating these things. You should take proper rest if you feel like, or you should work if you feel like. It is all up to your choice, and it is not like those who only work for days and nights get into good big companies. If you work for 3 to 4 hours also a day for your preparation, that's more than enough. And literally, when I say more than enough, it is more than enough, not just enough. So it is like that. But yes, for my working part, so things changed quite a bit. Otherwise, I would have been into Google's office. And office itself, the office place itself is pretty amazing, pretty cool. I've seen the office from inside, and it is a wonderla for people to work in. So you know what wonderla or how wonderla is. It is as good as that. But I'm not there. I would have made like few international trips by now. I guess I missed three of them. But what's missed is missed. We are waiting for this corona thing to end, and yeah, right after that, I think there will be too many new things. But there are few good aspects. We got to spend time with our family, and this feels more like a summer vacation. When we guys were little kids, there used to be summer vacations where we used to spend time with family and all. Then we grew up, went to companies and all. There were no more summer vacations, no more that much of long time or long holidays with families, and basically no long time with family. And whenever you enter in corporate life, you'll really miss one thing, that is you are going to be at places where your companies are there. For example, someone says are in Bangalore, some are in Pune, some are in Chennai, some are in Gurgaon, and you are going to be there only. You'll not have that much of family time. But yes, this pandemic came as a blessing for people who love family time, or who want to spend some family time. So yeah, pros and cons both are there. Really new experience, and time to focus on myself, my body, my goals. Yeah, good.
Yes, I think we all would agree to this that this pandemic has really affected each and every life. So it has been a little harsh,
Exactly.
but yeah. So the next question is from Prajakta, and she's asking that can you tell us how does Google or any other large service which is on the cloud handle millions of users at the same time?
So, see, for handling millions of users, there are not just one way to do it. There are n number of ways, and for each and every company, they just not put one way into approach. There are multiple ways. One very easy way that I can explain you this is, apart from all the backend that is going on. So this is something in public docs also. You can see this, that whenever you try to reach a Google server, it distributes your load based on your region. So your closest region will get your responsibility, and their servers at the closest region will respond you back. And in that region only. So for example, I I start from India North Zone. So there will be some server over here which will get my responsibility. It is not like there is one central server, let's say somewhere in America or Silicon Valley, that is getting all the requests from the world and that has to process. It is not like that. The load is pretty much distributed. The work is pretty much distributed, across the globe. That is why things work fast. So that is one thing. There are, apart from this, there are too many ways to do it faster. Indexing is there, and caching is there, edge computing is there, and apart from that, fog computing is there. So there are so many concepts. You'll read it one by one. See, I can explain them, then again it needs like 4 to 5 hours of time to explain each and everything in detail. That is why I suggest you, first of all, you can go through basic concepts of cloud computing. Then you can try to reach out to me personally, let's say over LinkedIn or YouTube or somewhere. Then we can discuss this further. Okay.
Yes, 100%, sir. So we have our last question for the day, and it is from Ankit. Ankit is asking, I haven't started working on any project or any other external technologies, but I'm good at my studies in college. So would you recommend that I start learning other things also?
Yes. See, Ankit, there's one really, Ankit was the name, right, Riddhi?
Yes, sir, Ankit.
Yeah. So, yeah, hi Ankit. So, see, there is one thing that we need to focus on over here. See, if I say I know Python and I'm really good with it, there is only one way to prove that I really know it and I'm really good with it, which is doing a project or doing something over it. Now, this is one thing to prove myself over Python. Now, apart from that, I need to prove on one more thing, that is how good my thinking or my project selection abilities are, or how extraordinary or out of the box I think. That is only based on what type of project you do. So one thing, you have to do a project, another thing, the type of project that you are doing. Both of these things are really crucial and something you have to really focus on. So try and be good with it. Do pick up a project, and that is very important, and try doing it in a really nice way. Again, really important, present that in a fancy way with some extra features added on, some security added on, maybe over the top of some cloud platform, something like that. Just strike my mind. What you can do is you can also build your own OTT platform like Netflix, Amazon Prime and all. You can put up some random content or some study content or something like that, and you can build a platform like this. That is also a nice project. So do make a project, and not only one project. If you are a fresher, your resume should at least have 3 projects, covering a good wide domain, and make like that, and that will make your resume really very interesting. Companies will love to interview you. They will have good and enough content to chat with you for like 2 3 hours, and that is how people get selected. So if you want to have a deeper look on this, the YouTube channel that I told you, Pocket Ink, that has a particular video dedicated to your resume and project building and all. Do watch out to that video. That will explain you things in detail. But yes, definitely do a project.
I hope that answers your question, Ankit. And this was a lovely session. And so thank you so much. I think you have answered these questions in a really great way. So
Thank you,
let
Nidhi.
us now.
It was pleasure answering to all of the questions. Really, some interesting questions. I
Yes,
like.
sir, definitely. So let us now end this session on a very positive note. So thank you so much, sir. It was a very informative session, and we hope that all our viewers have gained some knowledge from it. We appreciate you for taking out your valuable time from your busy schedule and to share your knowledge with us. And thank you, everyone, as well. We hope you enjoyed it and gained some valuable insights about DevOps and cloud. So, yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you everyone. I hope to see you guys, over the other YouTube channel or over LinkedIn and all. And yeah, just, keep in touch. I wish I would have met you guys personally and seen your faces, interacted, shaken hand with you all, but Corona thing, what to do. So yeah, see ya. Bye bye and take care. Stay safe. That's it. We are good to leave, Riddhi, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you
Yeah,
so much,
bye
sir.
bye. Bye.
Bye, sir. Have a great day.